back to another week of my weekly affirmations. If this is the first time on this channel, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, then glad to have you back. Just before I do get into this week's affirmation, just to put in a little disclaimer out there about how these videos are structured. My affirmations are very free-flowing. They're not written down. I kind of just go with the flow. I'm here to talk to you. So that's kind of what you should expect from now and for the affirmations to come in the weeks, months, years, hopefully onwards. But getting into it, this week's affirmations, I'm going to be talking about knowing when to let go. So we see a lot of people, and I personally have done this, holding on to things that they shouldn't. I think the simple instinct as humans is kind of trying to test our limit and see how far we can go with things until we finally decide to let go. But usually we don't understand that we let it run for a little bit too long, to the point where we end up suffering when it ends, and we put ourselves in even more pain than we probably wouldn't have been if we had decided to get out of a situation earlier, or decide to take someone out of your life, remove them from your life, make yourself free from them. It's kind of just this unbreaking of your personal sanity, just about bringing peace. And what we don't realize is that by choosing not to let go, we put ourselves in positions in which we'll never truly be at peace within our lives. Of course, no one can say that they're truly at peace, because as humans we go through things, and that's the joy of life. We have our ups and downs. Life wouldn't be life without those. But when we hold on to things that we're not supposed to, it pushes us down and it wears on us, to the point where it flows into other parts of our life. And sometimes we see things crumbling and we wonder why am I not doing well, why am I not succeeding in ABC? But we're not realizing that because of our choice not to let go of a certain thing or let go of a certain person, that energy in itself is practically drowning you, is drowning your positive energy, is drowning your potential success, is drowning your spirit to do good. It's just completely surrounding everything around you and what you are and what you stand for. So obviously, with knowing to let go, there are lots of scenarios in which I could use, because it doesn't always just apply to letting go of a partner. But I think in itself, that definitely has to be acknowledged in who we should be willing to let go, and knowing when to let them go. And one of I think the most important things, probably two of the most important groups, so to speak, that I would say that people have the hardest choice in letting go, is in friendships and family. Now, with friendships, especially when it's something that has carried on for so long, and you've invested a lot of time, you've invested a lot of emotion, you've invested maybe even financially, it can be very heartbreaking to say that you're actually willing to let go of that relationship. The reasons as to why you would let go of that relationship I will get into soon, but it is important to acknowledge that regardless of the time that you've put into something, some things are just simply not meant to be. Some things are meant to be there to teach you a lesson for your future friendships, for your future relationships, for your future maybe even job, even, and the type of people that you will encounter. So I wouldn't say don't see the negative from it, because the negative from it is what is allowing you to let go. But at the same time, you should acknowledge that ending a friendship is possible. Just because someone has been your friend for such a long time, it does not mean that letting them go is impossible. And when it comes to family, the same kind of sentiment kind of goes with it as well. With family, I guess people could say it's complicated. How can I abandon my family? Blood is thicker than water, right? But it's also important to acknowledge that people within your family are humans as well. We all do wrong. We all have our flaws. And some people have some really, 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 really toxic family members. And it's okay to acknowledge that. You're not wrong to acknowledge that. Now, whether you choose to fully remove them from your life is your choice. But it's about the idea of stepping back and being like, I'm acknowledging that this person acts like ABC, and I'm choosing not to acknowledge their actions, acknowledge what they say, and standing back, even if it means that you put it out there to any of your other family members that don't come and talk to me about so person, so be it. But I think having that level of boundary is very important, and being able to do that, especially with family, is very, very, very important. Now, when it comes to letting go, especially in relationships, we'll get into relationships first. But I feel like this will probably go both into relationships and friendships, so to speak. It's this idea of understanding that relationships, both within an actual relationship and within a friendship, equals reciprocation. Reciprocation in actions, reciprocation in care, reciprocation in love, reciprocation in energy, reciprocation and emotion. Not every single relationship is tit for tat. That is not how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that, oh, just because I do something for you, you have to do something for me straight away. No. But it cannot be one-dimensional. It's very, 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 very draining if one person is giving all the emotion, giving all the attention, is the one checking up on someone constantly, is the one constantly putting the effort to go the extra mile to make sure that their friend is okay, but not having any type of energy back can be extremely draining. And in situations like that, no matter the friendship, it's okay to stand back, to look, evaluate, and know that, you know what? Maybe we've changed. Our priorities have changed. Our groups have changed. Our attitudes have changed. And we're just not on the same wavelength anymore. We're not on the same level anymore. And from that, it's okay to say, I want to step back. Maybe it might not be abandoning them, but just knowing to step back. I think when a lot of people, when they think of this idea of knowing when to let go, they think that it's like such a final thing that people have to be completely out of their lives. But knowing when to let go is actually being able to acknowledge and place boundaries with you and another person or something that's going on, to place those boundaries and be like, they can remain in my life to a certain extent, but what they do, their actions and everything else will no longer affect me emotionally, physically, financially. So you're basically cleaning your hands off them. But sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to dump them to the side and be like, I'm never going to speak to them again. Now, there are some people who, be honest with yourself, child, you really have to just say, I need you out of my life. I cannot have you in my life anymore because it's toxic to you. This is especially concerning relationships. This might be toxic to you, might be toxic to those around you. If you have kids, could be toxic to your kids. It's knowing when to let go. Now, when it comes to situations of marriage and having kids, that is a position which I am not in, so it's not one that I would want to touch on. But just in a relationship in general, again, with this idea of relationships equaling reciprocation, it's not a matter of everything being tit for tat, but the same energy has to be put in by both partners, because if not, then it gets too much. It gets draining. Just like Karen Wright was saying, "I'm not your superwoman," like that. No one's a superwoman. No one out here is a superman. It's about just acknowledging that both parties have to give the same amount for any type of relationship to work. Now, I saw a quote recently that said, "Never let a man show you twice that he doesn't want you." And I think this is very, very, very important. Even though the quote specifically directs the woman, saying never let a man show you twice that he doesn't want you, I think it's important for both parties to understand that statement. Never let a man show you twice that he doesn't want you, and never let a girl show you twice that he doesn't want you. This really just ties into this idea of knowing when to let go. There are certain situations where a girl or a guy are clearly putting signs up there that they are just not as interested or not as willing to be invested in any type of relationship or whatever you are looking for. And when you see that those signs are out there, let go. We use this excuse, "Oh, I didn't know, I thought. Now there are some people out there who are some really good liars, and you really did think and they played along with the game." But there's a lot of times when people are out there showing you signs clearly that they don't want anything to do with you, or they're just simply not on the same wavelength as you. And when this does happen, know that you just have to let go. It's not worth it, because at the end of the day, you are the one who's going to hurt the most. And also with this, I think it's also too important to acknowledge those people that have like a certain sense of entitlement, so to speak. There are a lot of people that feel that they are entitled to a certain kind of treatment, if you want to put it that way. They feel like they're entitled to be cared about, entitled to be babied, entitled to be looked after, to be cooked for, to be asked every minute what is wrong, to be receiving special treatments left, right, center. When you see someone has such an attitude, know that you are not going to get that energy that you're putting in reciprocated. When you see someone hold such a high sense of entitlement within themselves, know, I repeat again, know that you are not going to get that same level of energy back at all. Now, that's not to say that, oh, maybe he can change or she can change, but I think with knowing how to let go, it's acknowledging what is in front of you, and that is the biggest problem. A lot of the times we are shown someone's true colors, we're shown their intentions, we're shown everything. It's right there in front of us, but we deceive ourselves because of what we want. And at the end of the day, a person can only hide their intentions for so long. At the end of the day, it's going to come out, and it's going to hurt you or hurt others around you, because you also have to acknowledge that when you choose not to let go, that person that you're keeping in your environment might also affect those around you as well. But never feel guilty for letting go. And I feel like out of all this, though it was a short though it was a short one this week. From all this, that's kind of just what I want to get across. Do not feel scared to let go. Do not feel guilty of letting go. Yes, you've built something, you've spent time, it's been years, 10 years, 20 years, but you know what? If it's not working anymore, it's simply not working anymore. And if you have to let go, you are not weak, you are strong. To be able to let go takes so much willpower. To be able to let go takes so much mental strength. To be able to let go takes so much emotional strength. You are strong in letting go. And if you're able to do that, well, you're able to get anywhere. So guys, thank you for tuning in for this week's weekly affirmation. I hope that you could have taken anything from this. If you have any suggestions of what you would like to hear next week or in the following weeks, please feel free to comment down below. If you haven't already, press that like button, press that subscribe button, and also press that notification button, as I will be uploading new videos every single week. Also, check out my new book, Guidance from 18, the full guide, which the links will be down below. And also check out my blog, where you can get to know me and have a chat with me and send me any of your scenarios or stories or requests, and I will be sure to be mentioning them on this channel should you so wish, or answering you in private should you so wish. And until next week,